Welcome back, my dear students. I hope you guys are doing awesome today. So, let's get to it. In this lecture, we're going to be learning a little bit more about Express just because, we use Express all the time with Node, 99.9% of the time when we are developing because this is just a lot easier to do. Okay? So, what I want to do is I want to create some routes here and I want to show you how that works real fast. Okay? So we saw how easy it was to create a web server in the last lecture. Let's see how easy it is to create a route. Okay, how to create routes, and this is something that you are going to see in most applications that you are developing on. All right. So I want to show you first of all how Express handles routes. Okay. So we're not going to dig too deep into routes now, but we are going to get to the start. So first of all, I want to make this a little bit more dynamic, just in case I launch this in a production environment. Right now, we are in a development environment, so we really code this just with numbers. But there is a better way. We could, if we wanted to create a constant here that would hold our port number, depending on the environment that we're on. So if we access this process, that env file, this is going to give us the environment variables information. Okay, there's a whole bunch of environment variables that we can access depending on what environment we are on. Okay, we can also set values here. So let's say I launch this into a hosting in GoDaddy, and I don't know if GoDaddy is actually accepting Node.js applications in their servers, but if they are, let's say for example, we launch this application, we can actually listen to whatever port we want. We need to make sure that we're listening to the port that we have available in that server. We can detect to see if that environment has a port by doing this. This is very standard to find a port variable on a Node.js environment with within the process.env port. Okay, and if we can't find it, we're just gonna do or then we are in development. For example, 999 like this. And then here we can just pass the port number. Simple as that. Okay. So let me show you how we can create routes with Node, which is super cool. Let me just put this on top here. Oops. All right. We're going to be using the app, the same Express variable that we got up there. And we are going to be using the get function. Just basically remember that Express is just a wrapper with Node, and he adds more features to Node. Okay, so if we get somebody to a root, okay, we are going to execute a callback function, and this callback function is going to have a request and a response. Simple as that. Let's go ahead and execute something here. Let's send a response, and we got this function available to us called send. And now we can set whatever we want here. Behind the scenes, Express is going to detect a lot of data that we put in here, and it's going to execute that for us. Simple as that. And let's execute this Express server. All right. And it says it's working. Let's come back here. 999. Enter. And you can see this big hello there. Great. Okay. Pretty cool stuff. Now, let's all create another route. We're not limited to the root or to the just the to that first route there. We can create any route we want. Let's create another get route to, let's say, some type of API. Okay, and then of course we'll have a function here, callback function with a request and the response always. And then here we can access API page or something like that, or API file or function. Let's go back. Let's actually execute this with node mon. Enter. And let's wait for it. Let's refresh this. Let's come back here. All right. That's good. That's working. Let's just do API. Enter. And as you can see, we are doing routes, which is pretty cool. And that's a lot simpler than attaching a non-data event and detecting whether it's a method that's get or post, or if it's the request URL is certain, has certain values. A lot easier than what we were doing before, isn't it? Now, of course, we have access to something else here called the adjacent method here. And what this function does is that it sets the content type of whatever we have in here, and it will make our objects, JavaScript objects, it will stringify them. It will make them strings. For example, if I have an object here that says name Edwin, like this, and I send that, I just comment that, refresh here, you can see now that I get that in strings, which is pretty cool. Okay, and I believe the reason why I'm getting this like this is because I have some type of app in my Chrome browser, and it makes it pretty like that. I forgot which app I downloaded, but one of these apps makes this pretty. You can actually search it if you type in JSON Chrome extension, something like this. I know I'm misspelling it. JSON View, I think, is the one that I have, and it just makes your code a lot nicer to read. Okay, so I think that's one of why my code looks like this there. Okay, JSON viewer, unless Chrome is already creating one like that for us, some functionality. But anyway, so I hope you see the usefulness of Express, and we're gonna jump into more features with Express later on. Okay, so hang tight, and I'll see you in the next lecture, guys.